Question says, thanks. What are your views on Fazail-e-Amaal book? The book Fazail-e-Amaal, or is commonly said Fazail-e-Amaal, which is very sad that many Muslims, they speak so lazily. And they talk Arabic or they speak Arabic how non-Muslims do it. What is so hard about you mentioning al-dad? Fadhail. It's an easy word to say. Fadl. Fada'il. Why do you have to say Fazail?
Faisal.
And many other things. Okay, I'm sure you all can compare to this. Someone's name, Zafir. Everybody understand this? Which still sounds good. But what's so hard about saying Zafir? Aval. It's an easy letter to say. Everybody understand this? Zafir. Sahal. Fadlur Rahman. How do you get Fadlur Rahman and say Faz? How does Fadlur Rahman go to Faz? Wallahi, that's butchery of the Arabic language, let alone of the Fadlur Rahman. A beautiful name. So therefore, I'm not talking about one group of people, Muslims, wherever you go. Many people, is unnecessary to just totally butcher and chop up the language of the Quran. Let alone when you're talking about something in the Quran, or talking about hadith or a beautiful name, such as Dhafir, triumphant, a conqueror. Everybody understand what this means? Well, I'll just say Zafir, which is an incorrect pronunciation because the letter Zay is not like the letter Dha. They have totally different nature. Dha is heavy, Zay is soft. So if your name was with a Z, it will be Zafir. It will be Zafir and not Zafir. Also, a dad is not like a zay. Fadlur Rahman. Fadl. Afdal. And then afzal. Or faz. It's totally changing and switching and messing it all up. And it may make it even have a bad meaning. Riyad. Riyad. Tayyib. Everybody understand this? It's a whole different language now. Wallahu ta'ala. At the end of the day, the book Fazail-e-Amaal is just like any other book that's written. It's written by a man, a human being, who is prone to error. Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, he said, Aballahu an yatimma illa kitabu. Allah refuses for a book to be perfect except for his. Allah refuses, He will not allow it to happen for any book but his to be 101% perfect. So Fazail-e-Amaal is like any other book. It has things that are correct and has things which aren't so correct. Obviously, books are a reflection of their authors in most cases, not all the time. Because an author could put out a bad book. A good author could put out a bad book. A bad author could put out a good book. A good musician could put out what? A bad project. Everybody understand this? Some of the greatest have floppy projects. They were rushed, whatever the reason. Everybody understand this? In most cases, or in generally, the work and the project is a reflection of the what? Of the artist, of the composer. So with this being the case, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, "Unzur kayfa faddalna ba'dahum 'ala ba'd." Surah 17, Allah says, "Look, unzur kayfa faddalna ba'dahum 'ala ba'd." Look how we've given some of them precedence over others. Allah says, reflect, pay attention. Unzur. You can't see how we've given this one that and this one is here? Levels and status, stations from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if a book is a reflection of the author, obviously the books are going to vary in their level of authenticity, and their level of sharpness, and the level of classicness, based off of the level of the two men or the two women who wrote the books. So any book, first and foremost, no book is perfect. Secondly, a book is a reflection of the author. So who's the author of Fazail-e-Amaal? Was he an alim, a scholar, a muhaddith, an erudite student of hadith culture, or was he someone else? And then look at the book Fazail-e-Amaal. Does it have authentic hadith in it? Yes, it does. Does it have good commentary in it? Yes, it does. Does it have weak ahadith in it? Some baseless ahadith in it? Some incorrect commentary? That. So the book is going to be bitter and sweet, just like any other book. But there are different levels of bitter and sweet. There's some books which are 99% sweet, 10% bitter or sour. 95, 96, 98. And then there's some books are 70-30, 50-50, 40-60, 30-70, 20-80, 10-90. So therefore, I would say is that any book of hadith that is a compilation and a translation and it has commentary, there's some that's good and some that are bad. Some have a lot of good and some have a little bit of good. Some have terrible mistakes, monstrous mistakes. And some just have a few scientific errors from here and from there. So it all depends on who's reading the book Fazail-e-Amaal. What is the level of this reader? An average 9 to 5 Muslim, or someone who has some type of knowledge and understanding. Everybody understand this? So therefore there are many books in English which are generally sound, good, thorough books that the general layman Muslim can read, such as Riyadh-us-Salihin of Nawawi. Not every hadith in the Nawawi's book is authentic, but it's generally sound. 40 hadith of Nawawi, not every hadith in those 42 hadiths is sound, but it's generally accepted. Everybody understand this? So there are many books of hadith. We've given lectures on this. We've given talks on this, on the books of hadith, how to read them, how to study the sciences of hadith in English, how to benefit. Summarize Sahih Bukhari is an excellent book for the layman Muslim to read. Summarize Sahih Muslim is an excellent book for the everyday Muslim to read. Mishkat al-Masabih is an excellent book for the everyday Muslim to read. Everybody understand this? And despite that, Mishkat al-Masabih and these other books, they have things that are incorrect in there as well. There's no book that is 101% perfect except for the Quran. And just as the layman Muslim doesn't understand everything in the Quran, the layman Muslim doesn't understand everything in Sahih Bukhari. The brother asked me in his house one day, an older brother from Pakistan. He said, Mufti, how do I know that every hadith in Sahih Bukhari is authentic? We say that's not your job or your place. That is not your job or your place. Your job and your place is to ask those who know and to respect their expertise and to follow their instructions. If they tell you this is generally sound, khalas, that's sufficient for you. A specific issue comes up, a specific narration, you go and you ask about it. And this is a derogatory approach, not about the Shaykh, because he didn't mean this, but other people, I don't know, the hadith is authentic. And do you know everything about the Quran, ya? Can you tell me what this verse means, when it was sent down, what Ibn Mas'ud said about it, and what the khilaf of Ibn Abbas and Zayd ibn Thabit was on this ayah? You can't. You don't have the time, the energy, the willingness to learn and study about the sciences of the Quran. The same applies to sciences of hadith. So this whole concept of I. Anyone who's greedy and thirsty is fine, but you have to be willing to work for that special knowledge. I want to know more about medicine. How does the surgery go? So I need to study medicine. But I'm unwilling to respect medicine, unwilling to respect the physician, unwilling to respect his craft that he spent 20, 30, 40 years learning and studying and practicing. It's unfair for me to want to walk into his world unless I'm willing to take his steps. And the same applies to Islam, the Quran, and what? And Hadith. So Fazail-e-Amaal is a book that has good in it, and is a book that has other than good in it. Wallahu ta'ala alam.